Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Nako, let me share with you kung ano ang bumungad sa akin pagising ko this morning. Isa sa mga unang nag-appear sa aking social media feeds. Yon, nakita niyo ba? Tignan niyo yung headline. Ottawa considers changes to reduce number of temporary foreign workers in Canada. Sa ilalim po nun, Feds announce crackdown on TFW program. Sabi ko, naku po, talaga, isa na namang paghihigpit ng gobyerno ng Canada sa isa sa mga immigration pathways papunta po dito. This time, focusing on the Temporary Foreign Workers Program o mga TFW po. Just to be clear, ang sinasabi dito, crackdown on TFW program. Not necessarily yung mga nandito na temporary foreign workers, baka mag-panic yung ilan po sa inyo. Hindi. Nung nabasa ko po to, basically, they want to go after mga abusive employers taking advantage dito sa pag-hire ng mga foreign workers. Okay? Sige, puntahan nga natin. Ang kinokote nito primarily po ay si Employment Minister Randy Boissonnault. Yun, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Pasensya na kayo. Yan, Randy Boissonnault. Ang sabi po sa isang press release daw po niya nitong August 6 lang, so very fresh pa itong balitang ito. The federal government is considering new regulations that could make fewer employers eligible to hire temporary foreign workers. So again, ang directly affected dito sa planong ito ay yung mga employers na nandito sa Canada. Lilimitahan na po ang bilang nila. Yun ang sinasabi dito. So, ang nangyari, nakipagkita daw po itong employment minister sa mga business groups. At doon, sinabi po niya ang mga posibleng gawin as part of their plan to tighten itong rules sa pag-hire ng foreign workers. Inevitably, syempre, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, less o mababawasan ang mga pwedeng i-hire ng mga employers, di ba? Una, sabi daw ng employment minister sa mga negosyante, the temporary foreign worker program cannot be used to circumvent hiring Canadian workers. Intention po talaga nitong temporary foreign workers program. Dapat po last resort lang yan ng mga employers dito sa pag-hire. Uunahin po dapat nila yung pag-hire ng mga Canadian citizens or permanent residents. If wala pong mag-apply doon sa posisyon na kailangan po nila o trabaho sa posisyon na kailangan nila, tsaka lang po sila papayagang mag-hire ng foreign workers. So, ang nangyari po kasi, there are some complaints coming from locals na kulang sa kanila ng trabaho o wala nang trabahong natitira sa kanila dahil lahat daw po ay, or marami daw po ay napupunta na sa mga bagong immigrants. Ito ang mga maaari po nilang gawin. The government may restrict itong eligibility for the program. Okay? So, magiging stricto sila sa kung sino lang ang pwedeng mag-hire. Including looking at how long a business has operated. Okay? Siguro, ibig sabihin siguro nito, titignan nila dapat yung mga matatagal ng in operation lamang yung mga papayagang mag-hire ng foreign workers. Kasi alam mo, later on, I will show you. Parang may mga observation na biglang ang daming mga nagsulputang mga korporasyon o kumpanya dito sa Canada na bigla nilang gustong mag-hire ng foreign workers. Mga shady businesses. Sige, mamaya pag-uusapan po natin yan. Okay. And if the company or whether it has a history of layoffs. Ito yan, sorry, hindi ko pala na-highlight. Ayan. Again, looking at how long a business has operated and whether it has a history of layoffs. Oo nga naman, why would the government of Canada allow you to hire foreign workers? Dadali mo pa kung saan man silang bansang galing when meron kang history ng pag-let go o layoff ng mga empleyado. Okay. Oh, which reminds me, i-share ko rin sa inyo. It is a problem here, Alam mo, meron nang nag-text po sa akin or ka-text ko. Let me also share that with you. Ingat-ingat po kayo. Marami po talaga mga abusadong mga employers na nambibiktima ng mga foreign workers. Buti sana kung hindi pa galing ibang bansa itong mga. Hindi ko na lang po papakita kung sino. So basically, meron pong mga temporary foreign workers na nagko-complain because of ito. Employers keep terminating them one at a time. okay, a month or so. Dahil may mga bago daw pong temporary foreign workers na naka-standby yung mga employers at parating, and those employers are making money out of the TFWs. Grabe, no? Itong kausap ko po, no, tinatanong ko nga, baka naman pwedeng magpa-interview itong mga kababayan natin na nahihirapan o kumbaga nilay off, akalain mo ng employer nila na nag-hire sa kanila. Ang problema nila, alam mo ang sabi, ni yung pamilya nila, hindi po nila sinasabihan. Yung mga pamilya po nila sa Pilipinas, hindi alam yung pinagdadaanan nila dito sa Canada. So they're obviously having a difficult time. Oh my gosh. Ay, nako po. Yung sinasabi na pinagkakakitaan po kasi mga TFW, nako, I'm just assuming ito po siguro employer na yan, involved dun sa mga Lamia for sale na ginagawa. That's a scam. Bawal po yun. Although alam ko may mga kababayan natin out of desperation to leave the Philippines and come to Canada, pinapatos po yung ganyang Lamia scam. Kung saan binebenta basically po sa kanila for thousands of dollars yung job offer. Imagine mo. Siguro I'm guessing yung employer na tinek sa akin, nagbebenta ng Lamia. Kaya siguro papabayaran niya yung isa. O sige, bili mo yung job offer na to, meron akong Lamia para sa'yo. Nagpunta ngayon, nagbayad, dumating na dito sa Canada. Ay ba pagdating mamaya-maya, ilang buwan lang siguro finire na. Dahil tatanggap na naman ng isa, na pagkakakitaan na naman. Baka ganun, Oh my gosh. Hay nako. So again, I guess that's one of the reasons also why the government is also now becoming strict dito po sa Temporary Foreign Workers Program. Sige, balikan natin yung original article, Sabi din ng Employment Minister Boysono, he warned there will also be more rigorous oversight in areas with a high risk for fraud. Okay? Siguro may mga areas na mamaya mapag-uusapan din natin ito sa isang vlog na napanood ko, and said he is considering increasing fees associated with the program. Kasi sa ngayon po, $1,000 per Lamia, okay? Per document, per foreign worker na gustong i-hire ng isang employer. $1,000 po ang babayaran ng employer. Pero isipin mo dun sa mga nagbebenta ng Lamia na yan, it reaches tens of thousands. Alam mo, panoorin niyo po yung isa kong interview with si Kuya Mikmik, isa pong RCIC, Registered Immigration Consultant. Grabe, alam nyo, minsan yung rate daw dyan sa Lamia, depende pa kung anong lahi. Okay? May ibang lahi daw po kasi na pinapatulan kahit minsan mahigit $100,000. Pero ang sabi, kapag mga Pilipino daw, medyo mas mura. Mura, relatively, pero mahal pa din yun, my God. Diba? Kasi technically, dapat wala pong binabayaran yung mga foreign workers kapag po sila ay kinuha through Lamia. Sagot po dapat ideally ng kanilang mga employer yan. Siguro, kung meron po kayong babayaran some of the processing fees na maliit lang po kumpara dun sa magkano binibenta ng mga abusadong employers yan. Okay. So again, ang sabi po ni Boysono, I've been clear over the last year, abuse and misuse of the foreign worker program must end. Okay. Hay nako. So, we'll wait and see, Wala pa naman talaga pong clear timeline na pinapakita. So, okay, we'll wait and see, kung ano po talaga ang mga specific adjustments na gagawin dito sa Temporary Foreign Workers Program at kung kailan po i-enforce yung mga yan. Hi, but again, what does that mean for Filipino workers who might want to come in? Ibig sabihin po niyan, mababawasan po kasi yung mga i-hire na foreign workers ng Canada, basically, Okay. Pero alam nyo ba, related dito sa topic na to, yung mga Filipino vloggers dito, ang tagal naman na pong pinag-uusapan yan yung Lamia for sale, kung tawagin. Siguro mas mabilis po kasi kumalat ang balita sa mga directly affected by it. Lalo na dahil specifically yung mga immigrants, tulad ng mga Filipino workers na gusto pong magpunta dito. Kaya, alam na natin 'to, napag-usapan na 'to in several, episodes of different Filipino vloggers here in Canada. Pero tignan niyo, ngayon po, it's making a lot of noise, with mga Canadian vloggers din. Okay, I saw this one, for example. Posted lang po ito, August 6 lang ha. And it's already gained more than or almost 73,000 views as of posting, as of recording ko po nito. Let me pull this up for you. Tignan niyo tong title ng kanyang vlog. Canada's major new employment scam and why you're broke. Okay. Nung pinanood ko, medyo mahaba, no, more than 15 minutes siya. Pero he's basically referring to the Lamia scam. Na tulad ng sinabi ko nga, ilang beses na po na pag-uusapan nating mga Filipino vloggers. Kasi nga, alam nyo, marami rin po mga Pilipino ang pumapatol doon, ano. Ay, nako, para lang po makapagtrabaho dito. They are also willing to pay. Imagine, mga milyon din yung naaabot kung tutuusin, ano. And again, hindi po yan permanent residency, ha. Darating pa lang po yan dito as temporary foreign worker. Hopefully, no, siguro umaasa po yung mga temporary workers na makapag-apply sila for permanent residency kung saan man po sila probinsyang mapunta. Okay, anyway, sige, let's go to this vlogger, no.
There's a potential employment and immigration scam happening in Canada right now that at best is subverting the Canadian labor market, keeping wages low, and at worst is a total scam, absolutely undermining our immigration and our employment system as they are at the expense of Canadians and the people being brought over. So I saw these allegations happening online.
Nakita nyo, isa sa mga una po niyang binanggit, and this is a concern naman for the locals, ano. Yung mga abuses happening in the temporary foreign workers program na pag-uusapan po niya are keeping wages low. Okay? Keeping wages low for Canadians. Canadian standards, I guess, especially. Sige, guys, iaano ko na ha. For-forward ko na ha. Medyo mahaba eh. Pero yung mga first half kasi ng video niya, basically, nililay-out niya yung context na there's a problem of unemployment dito sa Canada. Tumataas ang bilang ng mga Canadians, o mga locals na walang trabaho. Isa pa rin po sa mga tumataas ay ang bilang ng youth unemployment. Kasi po dito sa Canada, I'm sure you guys have heard, mga teenager pa lang yan, mga nag-aaral pa lang po sa high school. Pag summer, naghahanap din po sila ng mga trabaho. It's a cultural thing here. So, ganun po niya sineset up ang kanyang discussion. So, this vlogger is sort of questioning na, bakit ang daming kinukuha pa ng mga foreign workers kung ang daming mga taga dito sa Canada na naghahanap ng trabaho?
So, what are these companies? I started to look them up. One of the ones listed was the Maruti Empire, okay? I'm going, what is this? The Maruti Empire, they need all of this stuff. What do they need to hire for? KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Subway, Esso gas stations, hotels. So for regular customer service workers, which as we know, it's very rare these days to just have a conversation with a Canadian-born customer service worker, you need to bring in foreign workers for this. And why this is such a huge deal is this is wage suppression in real time. And now I'm not saying this company is doing this. I'm just saying, because everything I'm saying today is just strange information I found, no allegations. But the principles of hiring foreign workers to staff your company means you're able to keep wages low. We can't find Canadians who want to do it. No, you're not willing to pay wages that Canadians are willing to work for, and Canadians don't want to do it. But on top of that, why are all these high school kids not able to get jobs? Because these roles are being filled by temporary foreign workers.
So, ayun o, ang sinasabi niya. It's not that, ang sinasabi po nitong vlogger ito, hindi yan sa dahil walang Canadian citizen or PR na gusto mag-apply sa mga trabaho na yan. It's because none of them want to accept those jobs, take those jobs, at those that come with the low wages. Diba? Para sa kanila po kasi, mababa po yun. Ano? Siyempre, kung immigrant na mga Pilipino na gusto po talaga makapag-umpisa dito sa Canada, kinukuha nga naman po nila. Hindi lang ng mga Pilipino, but of course, other mga immigrants din. So ayan ano, this vlogger actually researched yung mga kumpanya na nag-ha-hire ng foreign workers. Ang tanong niya 'no, talaga bang kailangan pati yung service workers daw, kunin mula pa sa ibang bansa? But the reality is, it's happening. At marami po tayong mga kababayan na kinabang po diyan ano, mga direct hire po natin who are now, permanent residents. Sila po yung mga na-hire, sabihin mo ng 10 years ago through this program. Yeah, pero siguro nga po sa dami ng mga immigrants na dumadating ngayon po nararamdaman ng mga locals talaga ang impact ng temporary foreign workers program. Tapos ngayon puntahan natin yung part ng vlog niya kung saan nakahanap siya ng parang website na naglilista, nag-compile nung lahat ng mga naisuhan ng LAMIA ng gobyerno. Basically, yung mga employers na pwedeng mag-hire ng foreign workers, okay?
And so I started to look up some of these companies because some of the names were weird, just Stark Group, never heard of them. Cinnamon Kitchen, never heard of them. So I'm going through Omcar restaurants. Okay, so they need cooks and food service supervisors. We need international cooks and food service supervisors. That's strange, right? So I start looking up some of these companies I'm going through. Interesting, of course. You go down to Brampton, and we've got Bradford. Brampton in particular, which you guys should be able to see, had the highest amount that I saw. Obviously, I didn't count them individually, but it scrolled the longest out of every city. Dr. Ramadan El Suji medicine professional, nurses, aides, orderlies, patient service associates. Like, again, do we not have Canadians for any of these roles?
So ayan 'no, talagang pinoint out pa niya 'no, na sa Brampton napakarami daw mga nagse-secure ng LMIA. Okay, meron pa nga siyang isang ziniruin na kumpanya dito, eh.
This was the weirdest one. So, in all of these companies, one of the names that stood out to me was called the Glorious Future Incorporation. What the hell is that? Weirdest name ever, the Glorious Future Incorporation. And I'm going, that's strange. Why would you name your company something like that? So I'm doing all this Googling to try and I'm trying to find their corporate website. I can't find it, but what I can find is their job postings with no corporate website. And so I'm looking up these job postings, insurance agent. Well, an insurance agent, you have to be licensed in Canada to be an insurance agent. You can't be a foreign insurance agent and then come to Canada. You have to come to Canada and then get licensed here. So I'm saying, that doesn't make any sense that the Glorious Future Incorporation has an LMIA job in Canada out of Brampton, a marketing coordinator, an investment analyst, an insurance agent again off.
So, parang may point si kuya, eh, 'no? Una sa lahat, ang daming job posting itong na sinasabi niyang, kumpanya. Parang iba-ibang jobs. Tapos sabi niya isa nga insurance agent. How are you going to hire an insurance agent from another country? Dapat nga license nga dito sa Canada ang isang insurance agent. So anyway, mga ganyang bagay ba, okay? Now, let's go to the comment section. Ako, this video received a lot of reactions. It's disgusting that they claim Canadians won't work low-wage jobs, but nobody acknowledges youth employment or even as Canadians to begin with. I don't feel bad for anyone who thinks they can buy their way into work in Canada and then gets burnt by these corrupt businesses. I feel bad for people who were born here or immigrated here legally, have paid their taxes, and can't find work because of these scams. Ayun. O sabi nung isa, hindi ko alam kung tama to, no? Kung totoo yung sinasabi niya. Wait, taas ko ng konti. Sabi niya, if qualified Canadians apply for these jobs and are turned down, they can sue the company who brought in a foreign worker for a job that should have gone to a Canadian citizen. This has eliminated first jobs for Canadians. Ayun, no, totoo kaya yun? Okay, hold on. Ayun nga, tapos yung iba dito nagagalit because the government offers incentives pa, subsidies daw, sa mga employers who hire immigrants. Talaga ba? Sabi niya, that's your taxpayer money being used to pay immigrants rather than hire a Canadian. Oh, ayun, ito isa, ito. Ito nakakasama nga naman ng loob, ano? Sabi nung isa. I got laid off for restructuring just to see my job get posted within 2 months. Naku po. So, sinasabi nung nag-comment, na-lay off siya, yung pala, nag-hire din para sa posisyon niya within 2 months. I assume, dahil binabaan siguro yung wage, ano? Oh my gosh. So, clearly, umiinit itong issue ng pag-hire ng mga foreign workers. But this does not mean, sa mga nanonood po, this does not mean that you should not try to come here through the foreign workers program. This does not mean that you should stop applying through job bank kung saan nakikita halimbawa yung mga employers dito na direct hire. Ingat-ingat lang po talaga kayo dahil marami pong mga abusado rin pong employers dito sa Canada. At the same time, you should be prepared pagdating niyo po dito for, mag-research po kayo sa karapatan ninyo bilang temporary foreign workers so that hindi po kayo matakot magsalita. Ang nangyayari po kasi, kapag meron po mga temporary foreign workers na naka-closed work permit, hindi ibig sabihin nga po, nakatali sila sa employer nila, hindi po sila pwedeng magtrabaho para sa iba. Kapag na-experience po sila ng abuse, o kunyari pinapa-work overtime ng walang bayad, natatakot po silang magsalita o mag-complain dahil ang nasa isip po nila, ipapareport sila agad ng employer nila. Hindi po ganun ang sitwasyon. Only the government can deport you. Okay? If you encounter any form of abuse, you can go to, let's say, mga settlement officers dito, immigration consultant, magtanong din po kayo about your rights. Hindi po kayo agad mapapalis. Bibigyan po kayo ng pagkakataon makapag-stay po dito. Again, case to case po yan. Please research first. Hay nako, so let me know what you think, okay? Is it still, do you think it's a wise decision pa rin? Would you still encourage our kababayans to come to Canada through the temporary foreign workers program? Let me know in the comment section, okay? Or if you also have your stories to share, please email me inanutshellvlog@gmail.com. Okay, so I'll end this episode here. Bye, guys!